All right, y'all, it's getting close to winter, and we are outside with one of my favorite plants that I've had for probably 3 or 4 years now, and it is the Space Oddity Hibiscus. If you follow me on Instagram, you've definitely seen these blooms. They are the size of like little dinner plates. The color is amazing, especially after a good rain. They really start to pop, and you can see I've got this on a stand right now, but it is every bit of 3 to 4 feet tall. And every year before I put it in the greenhouse for winter, I go ahead and cut it back. One, so I can save space in the greenhouse because this will take up quite a bit of space. But two, because I like to propagate, so I can make more of these and give them to friends or sell them, you know. So today we're going to be pruning this back a little bit. I'm not sure if I'm going to take the height off too much. If it gets too tall and lanky, the bottom will thin out and you're more likely to snap it in half if there's like a strong wind. So I may top it a little bit and use some of the top for propagating material. But I have plenty to work with down here as well. I don't absolutely need to. We'll get into pruning. It's always a toss-up, you know. I sometimes get a little prune happy with my pruners. Sometimes when those Felcos come out, I get a little trigger happy, you know. So let's get to pruning and we'll see what we got. All right, so we're gonna start by taking off some of these lower leaves. Oops, need to lube up my Felcos. They're a little sticky. Take off some of these lower leaves first. Whenever I'm pruning, I try to leave like a little bit of growth to allow for some dieback, because if you go ahead and take a big limb off, so I take this one off right here, if I were to cut it all the way back flush with the main trunk, what's going to happen is it's going to have dieback, and if you cut too close to the trunk, it's going to die back against the trunk. So if I leave like a half an inch, a quarter inch against the trunk, it'll have some room to shrink and heal up nice so that it doesn't get damaged. We're going to prune this pretty hard. Like I said, it's going to go into the greenhouse, so I want to make some space, but none of these cuttings are going to go to waste at all. It's right here. It's going to look pretty ugly over winter, but come spring, it's going to be so nice. We actually have a big side shoot that's growing out from the bottom, and I'll save that one for last. Now this is something you can do if you were to have like a hibiscus that's in the ground before winter. You can go ahead and trim it back pretty hard, cover it up. I've even seen people who cut their hibiscuses to the ground and cover them with mulch, and then in the spring, after the freeze is gone, you'll start to get new growth. I keep mine in containers because I want to maintain this vertical growth and not lose any of this. So I move them into the greenhouse or into the garage, so I don't have to worry about pruning it back all the way to the ground. So yeah, we're gonna lose the flowers, but you know, we're getting down to the 40s and 30s pretty soon. It was 44 this morning, so flowering is just about done. And this variety, the Space Oddity, actually like blooms all year long, from early spring to late fall. We're getting into winter now here in Texas. Right here. And I had talked about taking the top off. And I think I'm going to. Not only because I want it to fill out, but because this is really good propagation material. When I'm looking at a piece of propagation material, I'm always looking for a Y piece. Those always do really well when you're propagating. So I kind of want to take this Y right here, but I don't know if I want to go that far down. Let's see. See how it's going to look when I do this. And these nice sharp Felcos are amazing for this. I'll even take out some of this younger growth. This I won't propagate. This is compost right there. And this actually won't go dormant in my greenhouse. It'll, I'll cut all this growth off, and then within like a month, it'll be budding out the sides everywhere. I think I'm going to be pretty drastic with this. I wasn't sure I was going to take this off, but I think I'm going to go ahead and take it because I want this to thicken up. If it gets too top heavy, you'll have stuff that snaps off from the wind, and you can already see I've had to stake this up. So I think I'm gonna make the call. I'm gonna cut it right here, just like that. Oh, that hurt to do it, but I did it. I mean, but look at how many cuttings we're gonna get just from that top piece. I mean, that's a whole tray of cuttings just right there, and these flowers are amazing. I absolutely love them. Everybody I give them to really, really loves them and appreciates them so much. This is actually a cutting that's grown from the roots. It's grown about 3-4 feet tall. Beautiful piece. We're going to go ahead and nick that down at the roots and go ahead and snip it out. There we go. And that, look at that piece right there. Look at that beautiful piece. That's amazing. All right, so this is good to go into the greenhouse over winter. We're going to take it over there. All right, so we got everything we need. We got our cuttings, we got our pots with some soil in them, we got some rooting hormone. This is Bonide Root Tone. Good stuff. I love using it. Let's get started. All right, so the first thing we're going to do, for my pruners, is we're going to defoliate some of these cuttings. So this is that big one that was growing from the roots. We're going to go ahead and, this is a big cutting right here. We're going to split that up. I'm going to take off the green growth. Any of the green growth, we're going to go ahead and cut it off. We want all woody cuttings, but we got 2 cuttings right there. I like at least a pencil thickness when I'm doing a cutting because the smaller ones typically don't do as well. So we're gonna cut all this new green growth off of these, just like that. This is all green. Check it out. Look at that. This was growing from the roots. Beautiful. So I'm gonna say we want to get a node. So like if you look really close to where the limb was coming out, that's a node. We want that underground every time we put a cutting in. So I think we'll go with like 5-inch cuttings or so. So we'll go boom here, here, here. Kind of got to eyeball it. I've got a system down. Kind of just got to eyeball it sometimes. Boom. Let's see, this one's even a little green still. I'm going to go ahead and use that one, but it's a little green. And then you want to make sure when you set these down, you set them facing upward. Because if you don't have your cutting facing up, you're going to put it upside down in the pot. It's not going to root like that at all. This is that nice Y piece we took from the top. Really nice. We'll go ahead. I want to save that Y as a cutting by itself. Anytime you can get like a Y piece, that is spectacular. I love a good Y piece. I don't know why. The Ys, I don't know why. The Ys always do so much better. I always have really good success when I do a nice big Y piece. And I will keep them a little bit bigger, almost like a slingshot, you know. Take this piece off. Boom. See the green right here where it starts to get green and it starts to get a little barky. We're going to take off that new stuff. And we'll leave that one as a whole cutting. You can go as big or as large as you want. I don't recommend anything over like a foot or so. I've seen it done, but you can. I'm probably going a lot faster than most people would. Take your time. Don't cut your finger off these Felcos. They can get kind of sharp. Got a plane or helicopter flying over. Every time I'm doing a video, there's a plane or a helicopter that flies over me. I'd be so bummed out if my microphone wasn't connected the whole time. We'll find out. Okay, so we went ahead and we got all of our cuttings stripped back. I'll show you all how many we got. About 100. About 100 freaking cuttings. That's a lot. But think about it, every single one of these can grow up to be a big tree, just like the big one I just pruned back. So we're going to put them in something to kind of keep them standing up. It looks like a hibiscus graveyard over here. Good Lord. These flowers are so amazing. They're so beautiful. This is actually the same flower It's a darker color. Depends on like the pH, I guess. I don't know. I'm not a scientist at all. All right, now what we're gonna do is a little trick that I learned this past year. We're gonna take some grafting tape and we're going to, if I can get it undone. Grafting tape is basically like saran wrap. They use it when they graft trees, but you can use it on propagations as well. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take it and just wrap it around the top ends of the cuttings. Now this is just gonna go on the ones that have exposed, I guess, I don't know the proper word. I'm not a scientist. We're gonna put it over the cut ends on the top so that they'll lock moisture in, because a lot of times if you've not had success with propagations, it's because the ends dried out, and if the ends dry out, typically the whole cutting is going to die. So if you can keep it moist on top and keep it from drying out, you're going to have much better success. Now you can do this with grafting tape as I'm doing, and I probably won't do this on all of them, but I really want to make sure that this bad boy, this honka-donka slingshot propagation takes off. We're going to go ahead and get this one propagated. We're going to take my Felco pocket knife. Felco made in Switzerland for like 100 years, I think. And this is a method that I use. Not everybody cuts their stuff back, but what I'm going to do, I'm just going to make one cut on the roots, just like that. That is it. I used to do a full strip. Now I'm just kind of a side strip, one little slight strip. We're going to take our rooting hormone. This is bone-eyed rooting hormone, good stuff. There's all kinds of rooting hormones. You don't have to use rooting hormone at all if you don't want to, but I do, so here we go. We're going to go ahead and do a little hippy-dippy right into the powder. Look at that. Look at that. Looks like Scarface. All right, the next step. Now this is always a controversial thing that I do. I just take the cutting and I jam it into the soil. Jam it into the soil. Usually it goes in a lot easier. And then I pack it in. Some people say that I should poke a hole in first or whatever, but I get results, baby. So you can do what I do and you will have success. Don't listen to the haters. All right, we're gonna do that 17 more times, and then we have like a ton more to propagate. And this is really important. Do this when you have free time, because if you do these cuttings, you got to propagate them like then. These cuttings will dry out pretty quick, so get them propagated when you cut them off, or you're not going to get them probably. So get busy. All right, now we're going to water this all in really, really well. On the hose. What is going on with my hose? My hose is down to a trickle. I don't know what's going on. Don't know. That's weird. Now we're going to go take these and put them under my grow lights in the garage. All right, we're gonna slide them under here under our grow lights in the garage, and leave them here all winter long. Make sure to label them and keep them watered, probably every other day, to keep them moist. If they dry out, they are dead. I hope you all enjoyed this video, and if you have something you want me to propagate, drop it down below and we'll do our best. See you on the next one.